Hey guys, just finished watching Young Justice, Season 3, Episode 1, Prince All. This episode was really interesting. A great intro into this season. Now, I think this was a great intro, and I can't wait to watch the rest of this. I don't know if I'm going to be watching the rest of this show, just because I'm already following so many shows, and to review all of them, it just might be a bit much, especially with the hours that I'm working currently. I'm only able to really watch all these shows on the weekends and stuff, so it just becomes to be a lot to do this. But this is definitely first episode for the season for season 3 for coming back. Young Justice Outsiders is amazing. This show is perfect. This episode was great. It's shorter episodes or half an hour episodes and stuff, but from what I've seen on here, looking here on IMDb and stuff, they release kind of 3 episodes at a time, so it's not like it's one episode, 30-minute episodes in per shot. You could download like all 3 and just kind of watch them all at a time. And I think this was really interesting, and I like this episode, this beginning episode, kind of setting up the whole storyline and stuff, and diving deep into things. So let's jump into it. We start off 2 years after everything from season 2 and stuff, where we see kids are still being experimented on, which is going to be interesting, but it also seems like it's a retread of the last season. But yet, since I haven't watched that season in a long time, I haven't watched Young Justice in a long time, and when I did watch it, I watched it only on Netflix, binge watched the whole thing. So and I only haven't watched it since I was in high school and stuff. Or I think I watched it maybe when I watched it, but it's been at least a year or so since I last rewatched the whole thing. So it's really going to be interesting to see as to where things kind of go with this. And I think because of that time jump, it has been a while. Or if you have just kind of rewatched, if you are a diehard fan and you kind of rewatch the whole thing into it, I'm not sure how this kind of retreading the same thing might go, but having it a bit different. Obviously, these different characters involved could be quite interesting and different, and playing with it. And these characters have definitely changed before we go into it. So we see the Justice League is fighting on a different Earth, different planet type thing, and they're fighting this Earth girl they're fighting this creature they don't know is an Earth girl. Black Lightning ends up zapping it and it ends up dying, and they find out that it was an Earth girl, only 14, and she was a metagene, I think, which was kind of interesting. I like the way they played with that, but it's kind of weird, that kind of convenient that, they fight this creature that looks nothing like an Earth person, not even on Earth or anything like that. And it just happens to be, they happen to have this device that happens to kind of, to tell them exactly that what it is and who it is type thing. I think that it didn't make sense to me as just that random. I remember that character from the season 2. I can't think of her name and stuff, but I recognize the character. But I just think that was a bit convenient how they had. I'm glad they didn't spend too long trying to figure out that mystery. But they could have had the same idea without someone having this device that just happens to be able to scan everything and tell them what they want. Literally a literal plot device, and move the plot forward. They could have had someone like Doctor Fate there, and have him doing something like that. Dr. Fate or the Green Lantern using his Green Lantern. The Green Lanterns were in the shot, and Dr. Fate could have done some magic and go, oh, this is actually an Earth Girl type thing. I think that would have made more sense. Could have Constantine. I think that could have been interesting. Someone like that, or Dr. Fate was there too, and have them, or even Zatanna, have them kind of going, one of them just kind of using their magic to kind of tell them the truth. That would have made more sense than just this device that kind of happens to tell all device, right? It's just a bit much, but whatever. I guess some of these things like that kind of slip by, just because there's a cartoon. I guess there's things like that kind of just, you don't think of it as serious as much when you're watching a cartoon and a live action, because there's that fact that it's cartoon, it's not real as much as live action, right? It's just supposed to be realistic. So that was interesting. And then we find out later on that Aqualad has taken over, Keldor has taken over as Aquaman, and he's the leader of the Justice League. So that's really cool. I wish we would have got to see a bit more about that. Hopefully we get to see later on, maybe a flashback as to where's our Arthur, where's Arthur Curry, right? What's he doing? Is he somewhere, having a kid with Mira and just kind of hanging out, just taking it easy? Is he running Atlantis? Or is he even also just kind of gave, is Aqualad, has Keldor taken over the role of Aquaman as the Justice League? Or has he taken over the King of Atlantis also? I think that could be something cool to play with that. And I think to see this, I feel like Arthur would stay as King of Atlantis, and just leave Keldor to kind of take over as Aquaman for the Justice League and stuff, and I think that could be an interesting idea, just to kind of have that way you're not split between Justice League stuff and Atlantis stuff. They can have one can do each, right, and that could be interesting. And then if they really need them, he can always go and ask Arthur for some help using the some of the Atlanteans to help fight, an Earth, Earth, and the Earth comes at stake, right? The Atlanteans will obviously have to fight over it because that's their home, right? So I think that's really going to be cool. So we see they're at this meeting, and we see Batman and Green Arrow end up quitting the Justice League because the UN is trying to get in their way. They can't even go and help after tsunamis they can't even go out and help people after tsunamis and help distribute supplies that they need after tsunamis wipes their town, cities down and stuff. And I think that was kind of interesting with that. And Batman has kind of created a new team called Batman Inc. And I think that's going to be interesting to see as to where things go with that. It's interesting seeing Green Arrow. He obviously looks a little bit more like Stephen Amell. I mean, it's still the classic Green Arrow look, character, but the costume has changed and it looks a lot more like the Stephen Amell's Green Arrow from in the Arrow stuff. A little bit different, but still kind of you see the similarities in it type thing. So I think that's cool seeing that there. And we see Barbara. We hear her on Dick's earpiece that he referenced her as Oracle. So assuming that I'm assuming that she's been crippled and the Killing Joke has happened. So that would have been something interesting. I would have liked to have seen that. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe there's a flashback later on where we get to see that. I think that'd be really cool. If I'm not mistaken, on here they have I can't think of it. They had the Joker last season in season 2, and he was voiced by Brett Spiner. So I think it would be cool either get him back, but you could also get Mark Hamill. But I guess they just keep the same cast. Otherwise, they would have changed Batman to Kevin Conroy. This Batman is pretty good. I mean, I think the Batman actor, who is it? So he has Bruce Greenwood voicing Batman and Bruce Wayne and stuff. I think that's really cool. A pretty good Batman voice. I think it's kind of interesting. It just doesn't compare to. I think it's a very good Batman voice. But I just much prefer the original. I can't think of his name. But from the animated series, one guy who's been all in the Dark Knight, the Batman Arkham games. Kevin Conroy is the name I was looking for. I think he's really good. So Bruce Greenwood is really good, but Kevin Conroy blows it out of the water. And it's a definitive Batman voice. He's the one who I listen to, who I imagine in my head when I'm reading Batman comics, right? When I'm reading Batman, I hear his voice in my head type thing. And I think that's really cool there. So we see that would be cool to see if we get that Killing Joke flashback. Could be really fun. That would be really awesome seeing that. We see Dick is on a mission, but he's not in his Nightwing costume, so that'll be cool to see as to where things go with that. He's in more of his Dick Grayson style. It looks like more like a mixture between that Dick Grayson storyline that he had in New 52 after his secret identity was revealed and stuff, but mixture between that kind of just casual spy, Dick Grayson's comics that he had, and then with a little bit of the Nightwing stuff in there, so a bit more co-op less like stealth more, because it has no superhero costumes and his identity is just straight out there, which I don't know why he didn't have any kind of goggles or anything like that. He had like a mask on like this, but not covering the parts that kind of keep the whole identity part, and that would have made more sense if he had like a whole face mask kind of covering up, or at least most of his face, maybe some sort of kind of glass thing or something. I don't know, it would have made more sense for him to do that. But it does look like he has some sort of these like tech contact lenses, which are pretty cool. So I'm assuming those would kind of change colors for his eyes, different things like that to kind of throw people off. They're trying to make a profile of what he looks like to try and hunt him down later on. They could make a different profile and stuff. But I think it was really cool seeing that. We see that there's a prince from Mokoria who wants to fight metahumans with metahumans. His niece got taken. If not mistaken, it might be the niece. It sounds like it could be the niece of Count Vertigo. I it was unclear. I guess I remember there was the niece of Count Vertigo who was in that episode of season 2 of last season's where Kid Flash had to run across the country with a heart in a backpack, and he had to get it there while everyone else was teaming up with their mentors and stuff and having a great mission. Awesome mission. He got to miss out. He missed out on that, and he had to run the heart over for the Count's niece and stuff, so that he wouldn't get power over diplomatic immunity and all that stuff. So I think that was really cool. I don't think it's the same character, but it seemed like it looked like the same character. It looked like an older version of that young princess who actually had Count taken out before plotting against royalty, right? So I think that was interesting. So I'm not sure if it's the same one. I don't think so, but we'll have to wait and see as to where things go with that. It just looked like they drew an. If it's not the same one, they should have made it look different, completely different. Just because it's been a while for some of us who it's been a while since they watched the show. Just the looks of the characters kind of look a little bit too similar like that. So we see Dick ends up going to Roy Harper's place, who's with Artemis, but it's actually Roy Harper, the one who still has the clone, the one who still has both arms, because the original Roy Harper lost his arm in season 2 or season 1. In season 2, or it was when they found him, he lost his arm and everything. He only had one arm. And he became, and he has become, what does he become? He has become Arsenal, and then I'm assuming that I guess Will Harper is what he's going by. Is he going to go by Red Arrow or Speedy? I think that would be cool to find out as to what his what superhero name is he going after, or is he kind of completely not doing that and making up his own life, not doing anything like that. So that is interesting. I don't know why he doesn't join Dick when Artemis joins up. Looks like they have a kid or stuff, so maybe obviously one of them has to stay back for that, but I don't know why he doesn't have anyone to kind of help take care of that, to watch his child for anything. But that was kind of interesting. And then we see that Macorvian King and Queen are killed, and then Dick continues to put together his team, where he goes to Black Lightning, and Black Lightning's like, no, I don't have any powers, I can't do this. He's like, I don't want your powers, I want the man, which I really don't know why. He really wanted, Dick Grayson would have made a plan to have since it looks like he chose specific people. He could have gone up to anyone, could have gone to Superboy, could have gone to, he did go to Superboy, but he could have gone to a lot of other people, right? And he specifically chose these people because he wanted these specific power sets. So I imagine he kind of was wanting the powers, the guy's powers, but also maybe, it's not the end of the world, right? He has to show the guy that, just because you don't have powers, you're still useful. So I think that was kind of interesting with there. But I didn't understand as to when he went up to Superboy and he ends up asking Superboy to join his mission, why Magon didn't go with him. That's really never explained. And then also we have, she wants to put that life kind of behind herself type of thing. She's still part of doing these missions and stuff. She's still running the team and stuff. So I don't know why she wouldn't just join Dick on this mission. I don't know why they're doing that, and why she wouldn't. And she has this kind of new look and type thing when she's in her Martian form. I guess it's when she's in her Miss Martian costume, which, she has these different looks that she changed to because she's a shapeshifter, but that's not her default look. Her default look was like that crazy looking creature, white Martian. So I don't know why when she's Miss Martian, she has this look that looks nothing like John Jones or anything. It looks kind of weird and not like the same look she had before. It just seems a bit weird just because, it's one thing when she could be her own self and not change herself when she's around, the team and all that stuff. I get that. But then when she's out there saving people, she can't go save a little child and stuff looking like, she looks pretty much like, I can't think of the character, the guy who was in Wolverine, the Logan movie. I can't think of his name, but it looks like one of those kind of like he looks a little scary to a child if she were to, have to go into a burning building, save a child, or, trying to save a child from a hostage situation and something like that, So I'm wondering, I guess in those situations she might change her looks or something. But it just publicly, I think that's what it is. It should be something to address rather than just, hopefully they do address it at some point rather than just kind of leaving it there. So all in all, this show, I'm really excited to see as to where things go with this. It was a really good starter for this season. I'm really excited to see as to where this goes. But like I said, I'm not sure if I'd be going to be following it and reviewing it, just because there's so many other shows to watch right now. So maybe it might be one of those things that I maybe watch this if it comes later on Netflix, because it's on the streaming service. But as a Canadian here, I don't have access to that yet. So we'll see if I end up following this episode and how things go with all this. But I might save this for kind of the summer break type thing, and maybe in the summertime I might watch it, or I might just watch. I've done this first episode and maybe just watch everything and give a review of the whole season at the end of it. So let me know what you think, guys, about this. Would you like for me to do that? Would you like me to do an episode by episode? If so, then I might have to wait a while before I do that. Maybe do it in the summertime after all the other shows are on hiatus. Or I might just wait whenever I get the chance, slowly watch everything and do like a season-long end of season review and just review it as one episode for the first episode, and then the rest of all one season might be the other video I might do for this. So we'll have to wait and see as to where things go with that. But let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes it's the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.